So, hello everyone. It's been a long time. I have just been listening to myself rather than feeling like I have to do a podcast because it is Thursday. And that's sometimes hard. Sometimes it feels good. Like today, I've decided I'm doing it because I want to do it. And I wanted to talk about ambiguity, pendulation, and moving into the new when we don't know what that is. Because I'm seeing it with a lot of clients that I'm working with. There's so much anxiety, so much fear, paralysis, procrastination, addictive behavior to not start taking the steps that we need to take to move into whatever it is we're moving into. And so when we don't know what that is, that's really scary. And I think also there's this aspect that there's a lot of social disconnection, social disinterest, social apathy. We have less quality time for ourselves and therefore with each other. I'm also seeing a trend that more and more people are using devices less and less. So I'm seeing that as well. But then I'm also hearing from people that they struggle with their screens and their addiction to social media and other platforms, or just getting the news from outside rather than from inside. Inside as in meaning sitting with yourself, sitting with your feelings inside, wisdom, your visceral knowledge, what your body tells you. So that can be very uncomfortable, but it's in this discomfort that we find answers, that we find the truth for ourselves, not that which is for others. And when you find the truth that is for yourself, when you find out what feels correct to you, even if it's difficult, correct doesn't always mean good. So that's what we're doing, a lot of this sense gratification, just feeling good, to skip the feeling of ambivalence and ambiguity, the uncertainty of moving forward into the new. And because there's a lot of social unrest and there's this polarization, and the polarization is just this pendulation between where we are now and we don't want to be there into whatever the new is. And we don't know what the middle is of the two until we go to the other extreme. So we're seeing this in that polarized kind of states, whether this is to do with Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, political views in your own country. Everything's becoming polarized because people want to move out of what situation we're in. So I'm using the political as a reflection, but we do it inside ourselves too. And instead of just being with this strange feeling, of course, when we don't know where we're moving to, there's anxiety and nauseousness and nervousness and restlessness, and we want to get up and go, and that's good. But also stay with the feeling, like, where's it coming from? What is the root cause of that feeling? What are you so uncomfortable about? What do you want to move away? Get clear on what you want to move away from, or help your clients to get clear on what they want to move away from. And where is it they want to go? Like, have some vision. Without vision, we're lost. And I mean vision as in future vision. Have some dreams and be magnanimous with those dreams. Be really unlimited and generous in what you want the future to look like. Start to dream big dreams, beautiful dreams, and then then have this pendulation between, this is where I am, this is where I want to go, and move between that. So you see it a lot with clients in their emotions. First, they're very timid, or they don't say or speak or communicate the things they need to. And then once they start to move into a more confident self, or they realize the changes they want to make, they start to maybe feel anger and fear. And it's because they're actually moving out of the comfort of silencing themselves into the discomfort of needing to address certain things. And when we address them, we have to have, like, there's this energy that's all of a sudden let loose that we've just suppressed or repressed for so long, and it can be very explosive. And before we're going to get that right, we're obviously going to make mistakes. We're going to shout, we're going to yell, we're going to get angry, we're going to maybe take things out in the wrong way, because we have to pendulate between the two extremes of no assertion to complete exertion or expression. And there will be a time as you move between the two extremes that you become better at this, more skilled, more talented, more influential in a healthy way for both parties or several parties. You don't want to just have the influence towards yourself, obviously, but that's because we're social beings. We're not going to choose that in the end, because we see the negative consequences on everyone from these choices. So as long as we stay honest to ourselves, and that's why we have to keep feeling, we have to feel also the discomfort, we have to feel the pain, we have to feel the uncertainty, we have to feel the struggles of ourselves, and therefore we can be open to the struggles of others. When you can't feel your own pain, you can't feel the pain for another. Then we become heartless people. We become dehumanized or dehumanizing. And when we don't have feeling for that which is painful, we can also not feel that which is beautiful, that which gives us joy, that which makes us strong and capable and loving and empowered people. We are not empowered as long as we cannot stand suffering, as long as we cannot stand to see the struggles that people are going through without having to take a side. We don't need to take sides on anything. No one wants to see someone else struggle. No one wants to see anyone else suffering. Yeah, I can just give an example of when I used to, as a teenager, I was just out of home. I used to be part of a group of people where we would do techno parties. And our motto was always free parties, free people, free future. Now that was kind of lost in the mix because we took a lot of drugs back then. And obviously everyone comes into it with their own idea of what that actually means or what that looks like, what is freedom. And it was only when we had too much freedom that we would lose each other. We would lose the meaning and the essence of what we were doing, because it was too easy. You always need those barriers. I wouldn't say barriers, but banks, like a river needs to be contained. It's a movement. We were a movement, and without containment, the movement was gone. It just dispersed. So when we have too much freedom, like I think we have too much freedom in sensual choices at the moment as a civilization. And then it becomes, there's no banks anymore to the river of our civilization. And it's just chaos now. And we need those banks. So we need things like when we had the police coming to our parties because we'd squatted somewhere that the owner didn't want us to be there. That was when we got back together and remembered what we were there for. We had something to fight against, you know? And I think that's what we're seeing now. All these crises are starting to push us more and more towards each other and create social cohesion, because what we're realizing is that when it comes down to everything, we don't need these beautiful cars. We don't need to fly to space. We don't need all this technology if it doesn't even bring us the simple things of safety, security, connection, love, social cohesion, which is so important to our mental health. And it doesn't matter how many goods we have, how much money we have. If we can't have that, there's no point in living. I think that's where this existential crisis that lots of young people are having is coming from. It doesn't mean anything anymore. There's no meaning behind everything that we're chasing. We're chasing after things rather than that which gives us purpose and a sense of meaning and a sense of belonging. It's gone. And in its place, like that is ripped away because we are moving into something new. See it as that. See it as us moving into that new. And the extremism of that polarized voices and people having to have opinions about everything is the other extreme. And through all those opinions, we can start to filter and see what is everyone really yearning for. And in the end, it's peace. It's quality time with each other and the loved ones we want to be with. It's to see our beautiful planet thriving and all of us thriving, everyone living here, not just people, but animals, plants, everything. And to be grateful for the simple things. You know what it all boils down to? Why do you work so hard? Why do you want to have money and a home? It's because you want to be with the people you love. You want to have good food. You want to enjoy your company. And if we can't have that, if that is not the goal, then we're lost. Because the goal is not to have all these little things that make us lonely and make us superficial and make us dehumanized, unfeeling. And struggle is part of being human. It's necessary. It makes us great. It makes us deep. It makes us profound. It makes us wise. Why do we want to avoid uncertainty? Sit with the struggle. There's no side to be taken. So, yeah, I don't have a practice, but you can practice relating, practice caring, practice holding both sides of a story and not having to choose, not even having to answer, not even having to have an opinion, which doesn't mean not feeling or not thinking. It means the opposite, just holding all of it without an answer. Can you reconcile both sides? Can you hold the pain? Can you hold uncertainty? Can you see the whole picture? Can you see also the flow within that whole picture? Can you see the movement that there is when we move into anxiety and we're moving out of the old into something new? We don't know what that new is, but you know what you want. And if you don't, get clear on what you want. That way you move out of this restless anxiety and rather just sit with struggle, sit with suffering, sit with sadness, sit with pain, because it's part of letting go of the old and moving into something that's new and unknown, unspoken, because we don't know it yet. We can't describe it. We can't represent what we have not seen. But it's coming. It's coming. And I'm going to end here. I'm going to stop here, and I wish you all the best. I don't know how often I'll be doing the podcast. I want to focus more on turning within. I've also noticed trends of people downloading less podcasts, and that's not why I'm doing less. It's just I want to honor people's need for more internalization, and I don't want to distract you with new material that you have to consume, because we've become consumers, but we are also creators. And it's time for all of us to start creating, getting out there, making real connections, having real conversations. And that's what I'm doing a lot of. So I have less interest, less inclination. I wouldn't say less time. I have a lot of time and I'm enjoying it. I'm doing it. I'm spending those quality moments doing what I love. And and turning within. So I'm going to stop here because they're already starting with the work site underneath my home. So I hope you enjoyed, and speak to you soon.